Hi guys, so if you want to see how I turn any art picked up from the internet into my own artwork, then keep on watching this video. So the first step is to find what you want to recreate or steal. So let's just say I really wanted to recreate this, and I'm pretty sure this is by Blue Satan. Okay, so I'm just gonna look for some inspiration that that just excites me. So what you want to do is you want to look for an artwork which just excites you, which also kind of close to your own art style. What's going to happen is you're actually going to be drawn more towards the kind of art style you already have. All right, so I'm going to be picking one out of these. I also really like this sketch. I can actually also steal this one. And here is the artist's name and his or her IG. So if you want to go ahead, if you really like this artwork, go ahead and follow them on Instagram. I think I'm going to go ahead with this one. I really like this. It's really close to what I usually create. The next step is, because I like compositions, what I'm going to do, I usually do not look for inspiration when it comes to background. I'm just going to search landscape digital art. I usually do this once I am done with the portrait itself, but let's just save some of these landscapes so that I have an idea as to what I'm going to create. All right, so let's move on to the next step now. Now, once everything is selected, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna place the artwork like this and reduce its opacity. We are gonna be using this as guide. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna create the basic structure that we usually use to create portrait. So I'm drawing this line and I'm drawing the circle, and also I'm just gonna draw mini circles for the eyes, nose, and the lips. The reason why I do it because this is one way you can actually practice drawing faces or portrait paintings. I do have videos on tracing and everything. I would highly recommend you guys watching that video, because I actually go in depth as to how I go about this similar process step by step. So here I'm just going to give you an overview for the same, but not going to go into detail. But all in all, what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to, based on my own art style, and placing these circles for the eyes, nose, and the lips where I want the placement to be, how big, small I want them to be, and accordingly I'm drawing these circles. And I'm going to be using this basic structure or format to draw the face or the portrait. Now, this is for people who struggle to create portrait art or face. So this is a really good way to practice drawing faces. Again, I'm just gonna link down below the tutorial that I am talking about, where I actually go into detail as to how you can actually use tracing to learn how to draw anything for that matter, not just faces. But yeah, I actually draw just a face in that video. So yeah, all in all, I'm just gonna speed this process up a little bit so that you guys can see how I'm using this format to draw the face, and it really helps. So in a way, we used the original artwork as base, as guides. So, and over that, we started creating our own structure as to where we would want the eyes, the nose, the lips to be, and how small or big we want them to be. Then we use that base format or structure to create the whole artwork. If you're a beginner though, you can just completely go ahead and just start tracing over it. Okay, I know this sounds bad, it's brutal, but I have, again, another tutorial on how to trace like an artist or how to trace like a pro. The way I also used to do it when I was learning all by myself, I just figured, okay, this is a way I can learn. So I used to do that a lot. I have a tutorial, I will link it down below. Go ahead and watch it. There's nothing wrong about it. So now I'm just going to move on to the next step. So as you guys can see here, my artwork or my pencil sketch looks so different from the original one, yet it looks as if it was inspired from that artwork. That's what we are looking for. That's what we want to do. So now moving ahead to the next step, which is rendering the whole artwork, painting it. Now in this tutorial, once again, I am not going into details about shadows, highlights, skin painting, hair, and everything, because guys, I have a ton of tutorials on that, and if you haven't already watched all of those, then you're missing out. You are literally missing out, because I go in depth into detail as to how you draw hair, eyes, how you shade skin, like step by step in depth. So I will link all of that down in the description box, so you're not missing out on anything. If you really want to learn, you might want to take out some time and watch those tutorials as well. So yeah, here I just went ahead and started painting. So let's just say you don't really paint semi-realistic portraits. You are more into, you know, flat kind of design, and your art style is really, really different. Once you're done with the first step, which was to create the basic sketch for the artwork, you want to go ahead with your own color style, the way you color your artworks. So if you're confused, like right now I'm not using any reference to color this artwork, but if you want, you can always go ahead and find references or artworks on Pinterest which is similar to your art style. And what you can do, you can literally just pick up colors from that artwork if you're confused about colors. So I'm talking, if you're confused about colors, you don't know how to go about it, you can just pick up any artwork which is similar to your own, and then you can just go ahead and start picking up colors from that specific artwork. It's fine, just colors, you can use those. And yeah, that's how you can do that. But if you don't want any reference for that, as I am doing here, I'm not using any reference to color this, you can just go ahead that way. But all in all, what we did is we just picked up an artwork which was not even colored. Even if it is colored, it's good. You know, sometimes I find out artworks which are like completely rendered, and I pick those and I just tweak the colors here and there just to make it look my own. Okay, but this is okay, I'm not gonna explain why I do that, okay? That's just done. So yeah, that's what I'm doing here. I'm just gonna speed through the process so you guys can see the whole painting process, how I painted the whole thing. Then I'm gonna show you how I do my background. You guys, background makes a real huge difference for your artwork. If you're drawing a portrait on a white background, it's fine. If a solid colored background you're using, it's completely fine. But when you add some sort of landscape or something like that, just makes your artwork look so good. Like, give it a try. Just give it a try. It will just elevate your artwork altogether. So yeah, that's what I did. Also, you guys, I kept the eyelashes in this video really dramatic. I usually don't do that. So what I did, when I was creating the rough sketch, started drawing these really huge lashes, and I was like, okay, I might just give it a try. Again, my channel is filled with, my channel is like, you don't need no course on anything. If you just watch all my tutorials, that's just good enough, because I have a ton of tutorials on every topic. So that's that. And then I went ahead and started painting hair, curly hair. Again, tons of tutorials on my channel. I will just link specific ones which you might want to watch. So I just started drawing hair. It was really, really easy. Again, guys, this tutorial or this video is not software specific. I'm using Procreate, but you can use any software for this to work. You can steal anybody's art on any software or any app. You don't have to have Procreate for that. So yeah, that's what I did right here. Now for the background, you guys, this is the artwork that I selected, and what you want to do is you can either just recreate the whole landscape if you want to, but what I usually do is I just usually find a specific area, specific square area, depending on the dimensions of my artboard. I select that specific area and then I just crop it out in that manner, the area that I want behind my main subject. And then what I do is I just go ahead and paint it really, really roughly. And when you paint roughly, you're just focused on getting the lighting right. And the reason why we are doing it is because we are, at the end of the day, we are gonna add Gaussian blur to the background. So it doesn't matter if it's blended or not, as long as the lighting is perfect. And so here's how the background is looking like behind the main subject. It looks beautiful, but we still have some work to do just to merge the portrait, the person here, with the background. So what I do basically is I just pick up any random color from the background, and then I create a new layer above all the layers that I have, like this, and then I change the layer mode to whatever I like. So I kind of experiment a lot with layer modes as to what is looking good and what is not. And I actually ended up going ahead with darker color. Here I'm just testing out all of those, but I ended up going ahead with darker color. And yes, this is a little too much, so you might want to just decrease the opacity. Again, this depends on what you like and what you don't. So this just totally depends on experimentations, but the reason why I do it is because I want to merge the main subject with the background, and just it is the quickest way to do so. That's why I do it, and it just looks really, really good. And now we can move on to the next step, which is adding lighting. So I wanted to add sunlight to my main subject. Again, I have an in-depth tutorial on this as to how we do it, or how I do it. Basically, overall what you do is you create a clipping mask layer above the subject, and then you change the layer mode to multiply. And then what you do is you just pick up your eraser, and then you start erasing wherever you want the sunlight to hit the subject. So that's what I started doing. I'm just gonna speed through this process a little bit. So as you guys can see, I am erasing the parts wherever I want the sunlight to hit the subject, and that's what you want to do. It's really, really simple. And once you're happy with that, what you do is you I just experimented a little bit here, so just don't mind that. And once I was happy, what I did was I just went back to the clipping mask layer. I turned on Alpha Lock, and I started adding this orange, this really saturated orange color, wherever around the edges of wherever I erased. I hope this is making sense. And then I also added really saturated yellow color. And then I disabled Alpha Lock and added Gaussian blur just to blur it all out, just to kind of blend it all out. And that's how it ended up looking. It looks good. It looks so good. So I really like the sunlight effect that I added. You can also play around with the opacity of this multiply layer just to intensify the results. As you guys can see here, it looks really, really good. Okay. Now, the end step is, I always do this with all my artworks, I really love doing it, is to add glowing elements. So it depends on the kind of artwork you create. It just depends on your art style. But I really like adding elements. So the goal here was to pick up some art from the internet and use it to make it your own art. So you want to make sure you're adding each and every little detail like you usually add in your artworks. That's what I'm doing here. I just started adding these little moons, and again, I have tons of adding glow tutorials on my channel, but basically what I do is I first create the element in white color, then I duplicate the layer and alpha lock it, change its color to whatever glow color I want, and I change the layer mode to add. Then I just add Gaussian blur to it just to add that blurred effect. Then I keep on duplicating that layer just to intensify the glow. And if you're adding some sort of glowing element to your artwork, you want to make sure that that light is hitting the main subject. And that's what I ended up doing. I started adding this light on the face and on the neck and wherever I think the light should hit the subject. And that is it. That is how you steal somebody else's artwork to create your own. I hope this video gave you tips and tricks as to how to go about it. If you're experiencing some sort of art block, just definitely use this technique, definitely try this method out, and it will help you out a lot. I usually use this when I am experiencing some sort of art block and I don't know what to create. I just do this. So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give this video a big thumbs up. Follow me on Instagram and follow me on Threads as well. Like, I'm trying to keep up with all these apps and I'm trying to be consistent with all those. Also, do subscribe me on Gumroad as well. I am planning on launching some stuff, launching some free, some paid digital products that you guys are going to love. So other than that, I will see you guys in my next video.